Flynn?
Not quitting. Just resting. This gets more difficult every day.
Only as difficult as you allow.
I'd say gravity and solid mass have a little something to say about it, too.
You perceive these stones to be heavy, therefore they are. But to the chosen few, weight is meaningless.
How do you do these things?
By learning to accept the unacceptable. Pull the rope again, and I will assist.
Hey!
You perceived it was without weight, so it became weightless. Matter is energy which is all around us. Sorcery is simply the art of wielding that energy. A weapon forged from air? Tell me, is it real?
Doesn't look like it.
This time you believed it was real. Control the forces around your hands, and limitations become irrelevant.
What happened to the wall?
You perceived it, so it was there. But now you have accepted the unacceptable, and the wall no longer blocks your path. It is time you see what lies beyond.
Shalom Akim. Before we begin, I want to start off by giving infinite praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rakakudash, the honors to the apostles and elders, Akram Muslim, let who teach and rule well, and peace and blessings be unto you, full Akim. You brothers, how to push out this word in truth, faith, and sincerity. Excuse me. And Lojo, this lesson is edifying. I want to talk about in post-production, brothers have seen, I was pretty much a clip from the animated movie Doctor Strange, the Sorcerer Supreme from 2007, and pretty much that specific scene is very, very spiritual, all right, because just like this lesson, the title is learn to accept the unacceptable, all right, and throughout this walk of ours, we understand that many things that are quote unquote unacceptable, all right, it's just the limitations that this flesh really, and as well as this world, puts upon us. All right, and one of the many things that's just unacceptable is pretty much things like this. We we are the children of the Most High. We know who the biblical Israelites are. We know, the time frame, all right, as well as the season, by putting prophecy with prophecy together, that Hamashiach Yahweh Shai is going to make his great return in this lifetime. All right, the image of Hamashiach Yahweh Shai. Do we even deserve to know the name of the Lord? All right, and these things are all fueled by what? Our faith. And pretty much this clip, I remember some years ago, even me and my brother, when we were watching it, we were pretty much like just putting two and two together, scripture after scripture, because just for a little background in this scene, you have the character Stephen Strange, pretty much in I believe it's a monastery, because if just to give a little background, a little context from the comics as well as the movies, Stephen Strange is a egotistical brain surgeon, right, who takes pride in his work, who later on down the line gets into a car crash, a life-changing car crash, and he loses the ability to use his hands, pretty much enabling him to not pretty much lose his job, his career. So he seeks out these other places to get his hands fixed, and he comes across this like an unorthodox group of sorcerers obviously on the left hand side, to pretty much learn to use learn to have the control of his hands, pretty much, you know. And in this scene in particular, you have his I forgot his name, but pretty much his mentor telling him that the only way to actually truly activate his powers is pretty much through belief, all right, through faith, you know. And these obstacles he's coming across, it's just it's just things in his mind that are just that were just made up, pretty much, right? Things that were constructed through his own mind, you know. So I want to bring this up. This is James 1:8. It says, "A double-minded man is unstable in all his ways." Yeah, all right. A double-minded man, and the thing is, we understand that when we actually have true and every amount of faith that Akim have and confidence within the names of Yahweh or Yahweh Shai, where is there any double-mindedness in that? You know, there isn't. All right, it's just a one-way street to believing in the Lord, knowing that there's indeed only going to be one outcome. You know, Lord's willing. Oh, you know, the Lord would deliver me. Surely the Lord would deliver me from this. Surely the Lord heard my prayers, heard my cries, right? So you have to remember, even, you know, me personally, what was unacceptable to me, you know, and really unacceptable is just another way of saying, you know, things that you just truly can't fathom, you know. You can't, and there's people out there, really, it's unacceptable and also unfathomable that you can't truly believe that there's a power out there listening, all right, when you call upon their name. You know, I mean, you gotta remember, faith is a gift, all right. And a lot of these movies and media, Doctor Strange is just one out of many, all right. People can't, you see it, all right, how they actually have a connection, and it's just fantastical, right? And people just can't fathom it, man, you know. But nevertheless, in reality, we have that gift, we have that power, all right. And again, in these TV shows and movies, you notice that it's just people that have been giving powers and giving these great gifts that they utilize. But nevertheless, in reality, people just can't fathom it, right? People can't truly believe and comprehend these things because ultimately it hasn't been given unto them, man. You know. Now, relating back to that scene, all right, you have it to where his mentor pretty much tricks him into believing that the stone that he was, the big cubical stone that he was carrying, was pretty much without weight. You know, in other words, he pretty much believed, all right, that the stones that he was carrying was weightless. You know, and that's actually a phrase that I actually like to say from time to time, man. You know, whenever, even in the world or even amongst brethren, you know, if things are just being just full of weight, you know, these trials and tribulations are getting hotter. You know, the fiery furnace is getting more burnt up, right? A lot of times we just perceive the stones to be heavy when really they're without weight, and really that can only be accomplished through Hamashiach Yahweh Shai, right? And us putting our charge on Him, our burdens on Him, to make our affliction lighter, right? This is Hebrews 11:6. But without faith it is impossible to please Him. For he that cometh to the Most High must believe that He is, and that He is a rewarder of them that diligently seek Him. You see? So it is literally impossible. It cannot be done. It cannot be accomplished to serve Yahweh Bashem Yahshua. Really call on His name alone, without even believing in Him. You know, you're just not going to. All right, the same way how the name of the Lord was dreadful among the heathen. All right, they don't even dare to say the name of the Lord, let alone even ponder on His true name. Right? So how much more a man of the Lord that can't even truly believe, right? To truly pray. And that takes faith alone. Imagine you're at home and no one's around, yet you're gonna go on your knees, all right, wherever Akim may be, and actually, enter that closet and actually pray upon the name of the Lord and believing that He's hearing you. All right, telling Him your needs, your necessities, right? So doing those things, and whenever brothers are actually met with those things that just seem to be impossible, all you have to do is just to let those stones off of you, just to perceive those stones to be weightless, man. All right, just cry upon on the names Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai 10 times more. All right, this is 2 Ezra 1:37. It says, this is one of my favorite faith-based scriptures, man. This is 2 Ezra 1:37. I take to witness the grace of the people to come, whose little ones rejoice in gladness, and though they have not seen me with bodily eyes, yet in spirit they believe the thing that I say. Yeah, that's right. All right, with bodily eyes, carnality. All right, people who are just simple-minded, even when they read the scriptures. All right, you see that time and time again, really among scoffers. All right, that bring up all types of ludicrousy just so they can try to throw us off out of our faith. All right, but nevertheless, yeah, to learn the unacceptable, to accept the unacceptable, and things like that also include, just and running on to the point in today's times is what the innovation of AI, the World War III, the MOTB. A lot of our people, they don't want to accept it truly because of the fact that they love it here, right? It's just unacceptable to me that America is going to be destroyed. But here it is. What are the men of the Lord going to do? They're going to accept the unacceptable. All right. Even the kingdom of heaven, as much as great, all right, the New Jerusalem, as how great as is told in the scriptures, our people still don't want it. All right. They don't want to accept that. They don't want to just quickly surrender unto the Lord like that. But nevertheless, those people are going to be in for an absolute rude awakening, man. All right. This is Mark 9:29. This is I had written down prior. It says, and he said unto them, this kind can come forth by nothing but by prayer and fasting. So when you read a few verses up, it goes into the account of Yahweh Shai and the disciples charging a foul spirit out of someone, right? Spirit that the disciples pretty much couldn't exercise on their own. All right, not being on that level yet, they lacked what? They lacked faith. All right, and as well as fasting. In this case, when it comes down to doubt, when it comes down to the spirit of double-mindedness, that's a disgusting, and really it's just an adversarial spirit. All right, that I'm not gonna lie, it's from my experience, it's a hard demon to shake off, but nevertheless, it's just a demon on the left-hand side. All right, that's all it is. Because brothers gotta remember, to have faith in Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai, to love Him and to hearken unto His word with all thy mind, body, and soul, it's a commandment. All right. So nevertheless, what we have to learn to accept it, to just surrender, pretty much. All right, to humble thyself. All right, in order to quickly fall into the hands of the Lord. All right. This is the last scripture. Holy but goody. This is Philippians 4:12. I know both how to be abased and I know how to abound. Everywhere and in all things, I am instructed both to be full and to be hungry, both to abound and to suffer need. I can do all things through Hamashiach Yahushai, which strengtheneth me. All right, and indeed, we can do all things. All right, even back in that scene, all right, you notice how the Sorcerer Supreme pretty much had tricked and made Stephen flinch when he what was it? When he concocted a sword out of thin air, right? And he pretty much just showed it to him at the first that it was just fake. But on the second go around, when he made the mystical sword appear and actually used it in front of him, it wasn't until that he swung it near him, just as like a fake test. And here it is, he flinched. He perceived that sword was real. All right, and a lot of the times, these different spirits, the things that happen to us, we tend to pretty much just take it on the nose in a really, really bad way at the first go round. All right, and it's the same way with these trials and these tribulations. It's the same thing with these tests that the Lord puts us through, man. All right. Sometimes the most easiest solution, literally, is just to believe, as with any other exam. All right. as with any other test. All right, as we keep going on and into our walk, as these trials and tribulations get harder, really the answers at the end of the day, out of every trial and tribulation, all the Lord wants to see is if we just believe in Him or not, you know. So, those on this video was edifying as well as exhorting. I want to close out by giving infinite praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem, Rakakwadash, the launch of the apostles and elders, accurate Muslim, and to teach them well, and peace and blessings be unto you, full Akim, you brothers that also push out this word in truth, faith, and sincerity. And with that, I'm going to say Shalom.